Hello everybody. Well, one of the first things we're looking at today is another Alex find. Is these two people. I know we can't prove things and it's only supposition and so forth, but when you look at Sam, however you say his name, and Nicholas Rogers, they do look very similar. And why? Please ask yourself why so many people are so alike. You know, when you find an actor, he's playing other parts. Anyway, I think they do look quite alike. It's not quite matched in, it's a little bit of a different stance, but thank you very much for that, Alex. Bringing to our attention. Thank you, Alex. And then I saw this, look at that. Started collecting uranium glass about 9 months ago, and he's got quite a lot. Look at that. I've never seen that before. Didn't know that it even existed. But I do now. Wow. Anyway, the next bit is, you know, just go and have a look. Everything's abandoned. Abandoned hospitals. Abandoned mansions. Abandoned castles. Abandoned houses, abandoned schools, abandoned malls, abandoned, did I say hospitals? Abandoned towns. A lot of the abandoned towns seem to have coal, is the reason that they're abandoned, or what they're saying. But look at it, abandoned. Look what we are living in. This going through is just a tiny weeny look at how many posts there are showing. I mean, look at that one. Look how much they spent on that one, and that's abandoned. They spent all that money. They spent your money. Look where all your money is. It's abandoned. Look at that. They found a body in that one, and it always looks like the people just, you know, when you get to these places, it just looks like they just left. I had a comment like that today to say about the hospital one. It looks like they just left, or they just disappeared. It's like these. I think a few of these houses, maybe the people only go there once a year and they think they're abandoned, and when that person comes, their house is destroyed. But a lot of them, they are abandoned. Look, there's the one we watched the other day. That was the one I used at hospitals. Look at that, there's bits of body left in there. Look, there's another one. Oh, golly, what respect do we have for people? Come on, this is not... Look at that one, there seems to be a body there left. Oh my God, who did they bury? Didn't someone think, well, where's my part? Oh, it just boggles me, it just disgusts me that we're just living in this abandoned place. This pathetic, it is pathetic, abandoned place run by the cartoons and morons. That's what I think. I'm running out of words to... I mean, that one there... I don't know where that is, but it looked... Anyway. Look what they're filming. Zombies and bodies and... Oh. And we still... There's Centralia there. We did Centralia. And we still don't know the truth to everything. They're all over the place. They're not just in England. They're in America. They're in Europe. Russia. Australia, it's the same everywhere. And this is where our money has gone. They're wasting our money completely. I mean, look at that one. Look what that one's made like. I mean, who would make that? Ugh. Always telling us they haven't got enough money for anything when they've abandoned what was working. And then, oh, I don't get it. It's just so many things abandoned. Petrol stations. Anyway, we're on to the next bit now. Where are these tanks supposed to go on the aeroplanes with all the fuel in them? Where are the tanks supposed to go? This is other machinery in here. And, you know, were the tanks supposed to go in there? There's no... Often when you're... Look, where are the tanks? Not much room down there, is there? Where are the tanks? Where are the tanks? And that one is a drawing, but they're saying that down there would have been a bar. So where are the tanks? And even when we get to the wings, as the wing goes out, it gets thinner and thinner and thinner. So there will only be a section of it that they could ever get tanks in. And then when you look at it, all the rudders and, you know, the flaps and the wires, and those, they retract into the wing and come out. So the wing really is a mash of blades moving up and down. And as you can see on that plane there, it's not very wide, is it? So where are the tanks? If that's inside a wing, it's not much room for, we're going to see it in a moment. And they've got like plastic wires, plastic pipes. I made this video, the actual video, a long time ago, and then it was sitting there and I just saw it and I thought, I'm going to add to this one and make this one the video today. It's always annoyed me the bit about fuel. It's all plastic. Would plastic be able to cope with all the fuel going through? I don't know. Supposedly that's somebody going in and out of a wing, but again, where's the tanks? If that's what's supposed to be in the wings. A Boeing 747 can carry 48,445 gallons, 183 litres. That's a lot of fuel. A lot of fuel. It's supposed to be in that bit there, but I was looking on planes and I found that one. That's for a flight 800, but that's the size of the tank. Yep, that's a bit bigger, but very soon that caters down into a very thin wing. And don't forget you've got all the blades and the wires and, you know, the mechanical side of everything. I just don't see that it could fit all that fuel. So it gets thinner. It's only the very top bit maybe that you could get into. And that wing, you couldn't get into that wing anyway. It's only probably the 747 sized planes that you'd be able to get in the wing. So where do they put the fuel? See, it's all rudders, blades, whatever you want to call them. The same there, you can see. And you can see it's not that big. There's no way in this part of the wing would be tanks. Maybe this bit here could hold some tanks. But don't forget, if it's full of tanks, basically you're flying around in a bomb. Because everything's just under your feet. Is all that fuel. Someone just have to point a gun up and go bang and you'd be out of the air. So I don't believe that we're sitting on 48,000 tonnes of fuel. There has to be fuel in there to take off. And once they take off, the compressors do the rest. And, you know, those things burn air higher. The temperature's higher than with fuel. So you get more power from air than you would fuel. But fuel doesn't work in the air. They work in the air. But you see how thin that wing is? I think that's like an Airbus. And then look how much of the wing has been taken up with, see, with the blades and the wires and the mechanical side. There won't be much room in the wing for tanks. And that is a broken part of the wing off. And you can see in, it's going to stop the video for a second. You can see into the wing. And you can see that there is just, it's empty. Except for some, I know that's there and that's there. But there's a big section of this empty. So no tanks again. That had ripped off the wing and you can see inside. Where's the tanks? This person, I don't know what plane they're in, but they're inside a wing. But wings today are like that. They're so thin. You couldn't really get tanks in there. They'd be so small. Pipes in there, yeah. So that means that the fuel would have to be under our feet. And there's not that much room down there either. And don't forget all the luggage goes in there. That's how wide the wings are today, really. Not very wide at all. Not very wide at all. And if you can see that, how would you think that that would go through a building? It's a Coke can. Look at that. Wish people would, really wake. Well, lots of people have woken up to that. And look at that. That's what would happen to the plane. It would just disintegrate because it's a Coke can. But anyway, we're in there. See, where does all the fuel go? What you mean to say when it goes into the graveyard, these are from graveyard ones, they take the tanks out. I don't know, all seats are left in there and everything. So, yeah, it's a bit crazy, isn't it? Anyway, this kind of boggled my mind. This is a passenger plane, and look how it takes off. It almost vertically takes off. There probably isn't passengers in there, and they're probably showing off at a fair, but look how the plane takes off. It's vertical. I think that the planes that are passenger planes have military technology, and like this thing, which also does the same thing. It takes off. Look at that, it's only just a few feet off the ground and it's levelling off. And I think by watching that it's almost like 4D flying when they do all this. You can only find 4D videos of little planes, but these things seem to be doing basically the same thing. It's like they're flying around in a sea now, and it's supposed to be air. I know air is watered down water, but the way they fly around is as if they're in a sea. It's just the way that these things take off and manoeuvre now. They probably can almost take off from standstill now. Look at that, there's a 747. Well, no, it's a military plane again. It's just going to go straight up. That's what the passenger planes were doing. That's crazy. How could you have fuel in that, or masses of fuel in that, doing that? I'm sorry, bafflers, the bits in between. Is that it, bafflers? The bits in between. They ain't going to stop that fuel moving around when you're going like almost vertical. But anyway, we've come to the end of the video. Those are just my thoughts for today. Thanks a lot for watching. What's your thoughts? I'm really upset about the abandoned bit. How could we be so abandoned? Nothing's nice, new, or modern, or what they're trying to do is it's all abandoned and broken and leave bits of body behind and their records and their furniture. It's like they were there, vanished, they've gone. What's your thoughts?